Oh, there we are. Okay, I started recording this already once, and all of a sudden, kaput! I touched my keyboard, and Lord knows what happened. When I touch my keyboard, it's like everything goes to Hades in a handbasket. Okay, we're going to work on this morning. We're going to work on, well, not this right there. That's where I started, and it was wrong. Um, this is called Cool Sista. Let's see if I move this book, if it ruins my everything. See where it says here? Cool Sista. That's what we're going to do. The designer of this tangle is Marizon Van Beck. She's a certified Zangle teacher from Pretoria. And she let me read what she wrote. She goes, I love this tangle because it reminds me of Koeksister, which is a twisted pastry dunked in cold vinegar syrup. Churches have been built with the money raised from selling these pastries, and there is even a monument dedicated to its humble origins. The pattern is flowing. When it is laid on top of one another, it creates an impressive 3D effect. So this is what we're going to work on this morning. Now, when I first started this, I had some problems. I did this right here and that wasn't right. And I did this back here and it wasn't right. And then I got this one. I said, oh yeah, I think I'm catching on. And so then I put it over here and this is what I came up with. So we're going to try that again this morning and see if I can do it correctly. All I can do is do my best. Do my best and do my duty for God and my country, or something like that. Okay, so now, so I'm going to move that book back. Hopefully it doesn't touch my keyboard and bring me off into doo-wah-diddy somewhere. Okay, now here we go. I'm going to first start my a little curve up here and go around and then come back and touch that one and come back and touch this one up here, around again, touch this one up here, around, touch that one up there, around, touch that one there, and we go here, touch this one, and there we go. Maybe we could go like this. Maybe, sort of like that. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Simple Simon Metapyman. This is really cool. So once you get this part done, you've got the hard part all done because, well, for me, it was the hard part. But, and see, when I first started, sometimes, like here, I went, and then I went up the wrong direction. And here, I didn't have my things touching. So you got to make sure that this touches, like that touches the last loop, and you down and keep going. So then, now you're going to now just start making these lines. You're just going to make lines, but you're going to, I find you could, I guess you could go from here up, but I kind of find it easier to go from the top of the balloon. I call this the balloon part, and then just go down. And if I start in the middle, well, then I don't know, for some reason that makes me feel better. And then go and go back and keep going down to the center, to that point, to that point. Keep going to the point until you fill up your balloon. I call it a balloon with lines. All right, and then go to the next one, do the same thing. And you can curve them or you can make them straight. That's where you just can do whatever floats your boat right there until you fill in the whole balloon. Cool Sista. I like the name of that. I never heard of those pastries before, but apparently somewhere They are in Pretoria, wherever Pretoria is. They must be very, very common over there. So we kind of learn a little bit of history as well when we're learning our Zentangles. We're learning a little bit of history. And I kind of like that. I kind of like history a lot. And especially that kind of history is, customs. That part of history is what I really like. Customs of different places. And I don't even know where Pretoria is. I have to look that up too. Because see, I get curious and I think, oh my goodness, I could have been this curious in high school and I probably would have been the valedictorian. But when I was in high school, I wasn't curious except about boys. I shouldn't tell you that. I was curious about boys. That's all I was curious. I was curious about. Yeah. So if any of you are young right now and dumb like I was, be curious about history because you'll want to know when you get later. When you get older. And so, yeah, I do it. Now, see, I did this one a little bit different. I didn't go all the way down to that corner. And so it kind of went up on the edge. But it's okay, see, because I'm still getting my lines. I like it. And it's amazing how some of these are so simple. It's amazing how some of these are just so simple. Now, some of them do take a little bit of concentration, especially when you're my age. When you're my age, some things take a little bit more concentration than when you're young. When you're young, there's many things you can do without concentrating, I think. I think I should have concentrated more when I was young. I'd be so smart right now. Because, see, I'm learning so many things these days. These days, I am learning so many things. And I think, good night, noise. I'm almost 71 years old. And, gosh, if I was so um, much wanting to learn when I was younger, by now I would be like a genius. So now I don't have that many more years left to be learning stuff. So I got to learn as much as I can now while I got the time, while I have the time, while the time is right. Now look at this, how it's coming along. Just look at that. And isn't that beautiful? Just like this. And now this is where you can get all kind of, this is it right here. This is the tangle right here. But then you can start getting a little bit more, you can maybe kind of darken up these sections that separate. Just get them darkened up a little bit. So many things you can do after you get the main part of the Zentangle. And that's what really makes it an art project is getting the is doing getting your shading in, doing some extra little things. Let me get my little pencil here. And so like I want to go in here and I want to shade in just in the points right now. Maybe I want to shade a little bit. I didn't shade on the other one at the top. I'm going to shade, or the bottom. The top, I would call it top because it's like, to me, I'm thinking of it as being a balloon. And so I'm going to just shade a little bit at the point of the balloon and then a little bit at the top. Now just using my pencil. It's a B. It's a B pencil. So it's a little bit darker of a charcoal in it. And this is a Kimberly brand, General Pencil Company. And so I'm just going to do a little bit of shading. And so, which I just put the shading in with a pencil. And then, but then I'll go over it with the stump. I'll use the stump to kind of blend in the blending stump. It's called a blending stump. And I'm going to kind of use the stump then, the blending stump, to kind of blend that. I got a sanding block here, which that's what I use to, for one thing, get the, if I got color on here that I blended a colored pencil, that'll take that color off. But it also brings that to a point again, because you do lose your point after a while on this. You get my point? There we go. And so then it is ready to blend. And so I want to blend in that pencil, and it gives that shade. It gives it it gives it that shadow. Moon shadow, moon shadow. Okay, and then let me blend at the top. And that kind of almost gives it like a little bit of a rounded, it kind of makes it look a little more 3D. When you do the shading, then that brings out, it kind of makes almost like a petal of a flower, and makes, turn my balloons into a petal of a flower. But it just kind of blends it in and kind of rounds it out. And then you can, and then you can go around and you can halo the whole thing. That's what I did over here on this one. I haloed the whole thing. Put a halo around there. Echo. What is the word they use for that? I know it's halo. It's another word, but anyway. I'm going to just go around the entire thing. And that pretty? I just went around with a, what is that word? I'm trying to think of it right now and it's not coming to me. But anyway, it's like an echo, like a halo. And I know you probably are screaming the word at me right now. Aura. Aura is what they call it. And then, see, because we're learning the words of Zentangle. So that's an aura around it, A-U-R-A. And then inside the aura, I am drawing some little orbs. These are orbs. Those are circles, but in Zentangle, we call them orbs. So I'm putting them orbs all the way in that aura area. And so this is how you can just keep going. You can keep going and you can keep making your art piece by adding your own touches. See, this is where you take a common Zentangle, a common tangle, and then you make it your own. Is you design around it what you want, and you can keep going till you fill up your entire sheet of paper. And you just get in that Zen mode. You know, when you start doing this, it's like you don't even think. You're not thinking of what you're going to cook for dinner. You're not thinking about the dishes that are stacking up in the sink. You're not thinking about them clothes that should be done in the washer now, and you got to get out there and hang them on the line. You just don't think about that stuff. You just are tangling. And sometimes this is what we need. You clear your mind. Clear your mind. And I have found that lately, because we have so much on our minds these days with the state of the world and all. And you need to clear your mind. You need to clear your mind and get things into perspective a little bit, I guess, and kind of understand that even though the world is problematic, that doesn't mean your whole life is problematic. I like to get these little V parts in here and kind of color those in a wee bit, kind of to round them a little bit by just doing it this way. Just kind of color in that corner so it's not quite such a pointy little corner. Just round it. Now see, I could go around. This will take a while and I'll probably do it all, but not right this second. I won't do. But if you go around each one of the orbs inside of the aura and around the orbs and color it in, it gives you even a different little look where they're colored in. You can leave them just the orbs, or you can color the outside of the orbs. Then you can say, okay, if you want your, like, say this is your image and you want it to be, this is the bottom, this is the top. Then look at what you can do. You can start putting dangles. I like my dangles of anything. You can dangle anything from any point. Now the dangles look better if they're coming down from the bottom. It kind of gives um, your art piece um, a bottom and a top. So see, and so that's fun to do too. To do like just a little dangle, and you can make them so easily too. And I like my little dangles. And these ones I'm just making lines, circles, triangles, diamonds. Here I'll put a square and then a triangle, and they just kind of dangle. And put them on different areas. Just let them come down. Just let them come down. And so I'm going to be doing a lot of the little dangles because I did some and on a couple of my little art projects, and I just love the outcome of them. I kind of think they are so pretty. And so, and then you can go with color and put color in your dangles too. And then, and then you'll see you might have white space here. So then you might want to start adding maybe something a little bit different, maybe a different um, tangle that we've learned. Maybe you want to go up here and up here, and I'm just going to make some squares. Well, these ain't squares, they're like rectangles or whatever they are. And I might take another tangle that we have learned and add it. And so this one I'm going to do, now what did we call this one? Now I'm remembering the tangle, but I'm not remembering the name. I'd have to look in my book. That's why I'm keeping a book. I'm keeping a book, a journal of my Zentangles, and I'm keeping the originator of the tangle. I'm keeping record of where I learned it, who taught the tangle, And like this one here, I will write even just a little bit about it being that pastry and that country where it come from, because that's still just a little bit more of a learning curve there. Something that you never know. You might be on Jeopardy one day or something, and then you'll need to know some more information. That question might come up, and then there all of a sudden you know it. Well, I wouldn't know it. I might now know it, but I wouldn't remember it that fast. You gotta be fast on Jeopardy. I love to watch it. Every once in a while, sometimes I even get the answers. Sometimes I get the answers when the contestant doesn't have the answer. Boy, does that give me the big head. Yeah, that gives me the big head because sometimes I know things. And usually it's only because of my age. Usually, if it's a young contestant and it's something that I know from my history, then I know the answer. And so I got one step ahead, you know. So I am just doing this one. And is this Knightsbridge? I have to look. Wait a minute. I got to keep doing this though now, just to finish this one up. And that's it. And then we put just the line to the corner. But see, now when you start getting all of these learned and start putting them in action and start adding them together, um, then you can just fill up your page with Zentangle art of all kinds. See there? Oopsie daisies. Oh no, that's right. Okay. They're not all exactly symmetrical or whatever, but it's okay. I can make a dangle from there. And I can make that go all the way down. And just keep going. And just get it straight on down. And then you can decorate them. Dangles up. Just put little dots. And you just fill up all the white space, even if you only make dots. But you don't have to fill up the white space. You can do whatever floats your boat. And maybe I'll make a triangle right here. And make my triangle like that. Maybe. Maybe I did that. And see, you just keep going. Fill up your page. And then maybe you would want to add color. Now see, some people, like I say, they don't like color, but you know, I like color. So if you just color a few of your spots, just give it just a little bit of color with your colored pencil or whatever you have handy. And just put some color in it. I'm one who likes color. I like the black and white. I really like the black and white. And I do believe the first Zentangle is when it was first created, it was all done in black and white. And so but a lot of people like to add color, and I'm one that does both. Sometimes I want to just do it in black and white, and other times I want to do it in color. But I have found now that I've been doing it for 25 days that I do really, really enjoy the differences in adding one tangle to another. So instead of sticking at one tangle, I mean, I learned to tangle that I do. I'm learning the tangle that I do for the day, but then adding to it, and you can fill up your paper. You just can fill up your paper. I mean, look. You could make a circle, aura around the 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 circle. And then there is a tangle. And then you can decorate inside one aura one way, and then you can decorate another aura another way, or you can color them, or you can get out your paints and you can paint them. And because it's your art, it's your art. Maybe I'll put just a little pink in this one, and then maybe I'll put a little blue in this one. So my whole art piece has a little bit of color. And there it is. And then since I did make my little, I'm gonna find a place right here that I can put my my artist mark. Remember we talked about an artist mark. And this is my artist mark right there. SL for Scrap and Lizzie. Now your artist mark might be just a square with a line drawn through it. Anything. You make your own artist mark, but put your artist mark on everything. You don't have to sign your name. You can just put your artist mark on there, and then people know your artist mark, and they'll know you did this one. Okay, so this is our number 25. Number 25. And I'm going to put that one in my book. I love what's my book is looking like. I am loving my book. And I am going to continue to, what am I on? Oh, I'm on a pencil, rolling my book. So I'm going to continue going. 23, 20, oh, I didn't put yesterday's in there. 25. This one is going to go right here. And so I'll show you after a while. Not yet, because I've not done any, but it's just in my head right now. Come on, glue, please. Thank you. Takes my glue a little while to get down to where it needs to be. And so this is my number 25. So I'm going to put this in my book. And then this is number 25. Oops, I put my book up here and I got to write down, make sure I have the right information. And it's the Cool Sista. Cool Sista. And this designer of this is, glasses please, Marizon. Van Beek, B-E-E-K. And she's a C-Z-T. And she is from Pretoria. And I learned this from the Great Zentangle book. Oh, you can't see that I'm writing. So I put this information on my page. I put that information on my page so I know exactly where I got where I learned this from. And so That's what because I want to know these. There's a few that I haven't. Oops, I missed. Okay. There's a few that I haven't written in yet, but I will find that information again. See, I got it on here. This one here that I learned the windmill from the tireless tangler, but I also got who come up with it. But I'm going to be working this one from the tireless tangler too is where I learned it, the cathedral. And so I'm going to be putting more of that information in my book. And 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 so it'll be more of a history for myself as to where I know where I learned it. But I want to go, I'm going to start going through, I don't want just this on here, so I'm going to start tangling around my images. That is my plan. And so, but that's it. This is number 25 for today, and that was called the um, Cool Sista. Cool Sister. I love it. I love it. I love it. And so I hope you all are having as much fun as I am having learning these tangles. And keep yourself a journal. Keep yourself a journal. And maybe you should date. I should actually put dates on my pages too, or some of the pages to where I kind of know when I did it. Because I might look at it 10 years from now and wonder when I actually do that. So I should put my dates on my pages as well. But these are so much fun. They just are so much fun. And so, okay, I've been reading out of my affirmators card, positive affirmations, and these ones are so much fun. Um, these were sent to me by a subscriber, and they're just beautiful. And they're the unicorn. I just love the unicorns, and each card has a unicorn on it. And so this one is about nature. Okay, nature. Let me see. I'll use my little picture of my cherry blossoms that I drew. Okay, nature. It is time to unleash your inner hippie and step outside of that man made box. Take a walk in the woods. Smell those flowers. Hug some trees. You might think you're being ironic, like, look at me, I'm being all tree huggery and stuff, but you'll find that even then, those trees will hug you back. Trees come from a time before irony, and their earnestness is impervious to our jaded humor. If that doesn't make you want to hug them even more, well, I guess you're a robot. So get out there and hug a tree. That tree is going to hug you back for sure. These are fun. These are put, and I like humor. I do love humor. And so these do put a little bit of humor in what is already a positive affirmation. And I love that. I just love that because I think that we all need to put a little humor in every day of our life and a little bit of doodling. God bless you all. May He watch over you every step you take, every move you make. And I will see you on the next video. God bless.